The United Nations is warning today of an approaching global water crisis because of pollution, global warming and overconsumption.
1 in 4 people lives without safely managed water services or clean drinking water.
As the conflict in Gaza continues, the lack of water threatens to make an already catastrophic health crisis worse.
Despite safe water and sanitation being a human right, billions of people lack access to them.
In a just world where everyone's rights are realised, we would all have the same access to essential resources such as water. However, for many people around the world, this does not happen. This is an injustice. This is why water justice is so important in our world today. But what is water justice? Why is it such an important global issue? Water justice is the idea that everyone should have access to sufficient supplies of safe and acceptable water that is fully accessible and affordable for all. In 2010, the UN General Assembly explicitly recognised water and sanitation as a basic human right. The World Health Organization recommends that people need 50 to 100 litres of water per person per day to meet their daily needs. Due to the effects of climate change, the weather has become more unpredictable, meaning that many communities around the world are living with unreliable supplies of water. Some communities are experiencing more droughts, leading to water scarcity, while others are experiencing more extreme storms and cyclones, leading to flooding. Other communities face restrictions on their access to water, and many people face the challenge of unsafe and dirty water supplies. Having enough clean and safe water is vital for health, sanitation, livelihoods and education. Continued unequal access to water will result in even more people being pushed into poverty. This is an injustice. In Malawi, 1 in 3 people don't have access to clean, sufficient and safe water for their daily needs, like washing, drinking and cooking. Every year many children get sick because of having no choice but to drink dirty water. Many people in Malawi depend on farming to make a living. This means that they are impacted by the effects of climate change. Sometimes there is not enough rain for the crops to grow, and other times, when there are storms and cyclones, there is so much rain that the crops are washed out of the ground. Malita and her family live in the Machinga region of Malawi. Communities like Malita's don't have access to water in their village. The nearest water supply is a well about 1 kilometre away, which often dries up during the summer. When this happens, Melita and her family have to walk further up the mountain to collect water, and it's not always safe to drink.
Ukaona kuti usaende maulendo okwanira. Timaenda mapero awiri a 20 liters kusanjikiza. Mimi mati 40 liter. Ukaona kuti panopa ndifuna ndikagwire ntchito, sindigwira ntchito. Ndio mata kwenda pero mozi. Mwina maulendo atatu. Ukaona kuti kunja kwacha umalekeza pomwepo koma ngati siku nachi umapitiriza kwanisira chile 5 ndikumakapitiriza sina kukhoma. Koma sumagwira ntchito yambiri.
Melita's daughter Patricia wants to know how people in Ireland get their water. In Ireland, we can turn on our taps to access enough clean water for our daily needs. This is made possible by a water system that treats our water and pumps it into our homes and schools. As a result, most people in Ireland never have to fetch water, and it's very unusual to get sick from it. Things are very different in Malawi, where a lack of access to clean and safe water is putting lives at risk and contributing to people like Melita and her family being pushed further into poverty. This is an injustice. In the occupied Palestinian territory, access to safe and affordable water for Palestinians is a big challenge, and many people struggle to fulfill their basic water needs. Since 1967, Israel has controlled the water sources and water systems in the West Bank and Gaza Strip. Some Palestinians in the West Bank are not connected to the main water system, and others have limited access to water. This contributes to high levels of poverty among many Palestinian communities. People like Lubna and Sarit are working for justice and equality in the occupied Palestinian territories, including ensuring equal access to water.
Israel controls all the water resources in the West Bank and only allows Palestinians to have access to very small quantities that are nowhere near enough to what we need on a day-to-day basis. So imagine not being able to flush your toilet, not being able to wash your dishes, not being able to take a shower, not being able to wash your hands or brush your teeth because you don't have water.
Israeli settlements in the West Bank are communities where Israeli citizens live on land that has been stolen from Palestinians. These settlements are illegal under international law. Israelis living in the settlements have unlimited access to clean, safe water, while Palestinians living in nearby villages often have no choice but to buy water to store in large tanks.
Israel has established civilian communities here that enjoy all of these benefits like land and water, and while at the same time virtually all of the Palestinian communities around here do not receive the same services. Israel does not allow them, for example, to build, construct and develop according to the needs of the community.
In the Gaza Strip, access to water has always been a serious challenge. Israel placed Gaza under a blockade in 2007, and this made the movement of people and materials in and out of Gaza almost impossible. It was very difficult to get the materials and equipment in that were needed to maintain the water treatment system, and this meant that over 90% of the water from Gaza's main water source, the coastal aquifer, was considered unsafe to drink. Following horrific attacks by Hamas on Israeli civilians, since October 2023, almost the entire population of Gaza has been forced to leave their homes due to the bombardment from the Israeli military. They are living in overcrowded and unsafe conditions. Homes, schools and hospitals have been badly damaged or destroyed by bombs and missiles, and there is not enough fuel, food or clean water. Water pipes, reservoirs and water treatment stations have been destroyed during the attacks by Israel. Many people have no choice but to drink dirty water or water from the sea. This lack of access to clean water in particular has a serious impact on health and sanitation, especially for children, in a situation where people have already lost so much. This is an injustice. Everyone needs access to clean, safe water, and this is especially important during a crisis like a war or natural disaster, when people are forced to leave their homes looking for safety. Water is essential for our basic needs and for health, hygiene and livelihoods. a lack of access to safe water continues to be one of the main causes of poverty and injustice for people living in Malawi, the occupied Palestinian territories, and many countries and communities around the world. Water is a precious resource that should belong to everyone. Water justice means that everyone, everywhere, should have access to sufficient supplies of safe and acceptable water that is fully accessible and affordable. As global citizens, we can learn about what causes water injustice and work together to find solutions. So how can we work together to ensure water justice for all?